What's going on, Skill Army? Mr. Skillman, back at you again. Hey, just off early this morning, about to get started taking care of some clients. Don't have much to do today. I got a lot of things to do as far as running around, but just want to come in here and get something off like I always do and go from there. So, once again, hey, we got a little coffee time today. We coffee on the go today. When I'm on the go, Dunkin' is my choice, you know what I'm saying? You know, I get my little coffee, little caramel joint, cream only, thank you, I appreciate it. But what I wanted to get into today is that, you know, when I was a kid, you know, in my era, my community, you know, like the way my parents were coming up, my parents were trying to develop their careers, go after what they needed to do. But as a kid, I never really knew or had to focus or worry about how much money they made. I know that on some Christmases, the Christmas tree was bigger, and in other Christmases, the Christmas tree was little as hell. On some Christmases, there was a lot of gifts under the tree, and on some Christmases, there wasn't. But I never felt the notion to question or put pressure on my parents about how much money they made or anything like that. Like, I was fed, I was clothed. There definitely was a point in my life where, you know, my mother and my father refused to purchase like the Air Jordans and the certain kinds of sneakers and stuff like that. But I actually went and got that on my own, and that started around middle school. You know, I got some age on me or whatever. But I say that to say this: if your child ever comes at you and basically tells you that you didn't pay for something and some other entity did, like, you know, if you tell them, hey, you know, don't eat all the, you know, XYZ or whatever, and they have the audacity to come back at you and say, well, you didn't pay for it, and you say, well, how did I pay for it? And they have the nerve to tell you that some other form, for whatever reason, paid for it, then I can't even come on here and tell you need to slap the fucking taste out they fucking mouth and make them eat a bar of soap and do a million fucking push-ups or something like that and beat the shit out of them with a belt. We can't do that. We already know that. But what you should be doing is slapping your motherfucking self, because you are doing them a absolute disservice. In my opinion, your kids should have no idea. They should not be in your financial affairs, especially if you're not teaching them how to be money savvy, how to save, how to be responsible with their spending, how to budget, how to be self-sufficient and economical. If you're not actually teaching them their personal finance and how to pay bills or you know, the result of spending their money and then not having money in that regard. But if they know that when you get paid, where you pay your bills, they question when you go in the store and you know, you tell them, no, you can't have a candy bar, Johnny. And Johnny look at you and say, didn't you just get paid? You can get me a candy bar. I don't give a fuck if it's on that level. It's absolutely asinine. And you are doing them a disjustice, a in-service, where the fuck, and you are wrong for that. I don't give a fuck what you think. It's my opinion, I know, but if your children are involved in your fucking financial affairs, especially to the point where they can disrespect you and tell you what you paid for, when you gonna pay, you ain't got no money, and when you do have money, you're wrong for that. And I think you should definitely consider that, and consider that if they're young, especially like under the age of 12 and under the age of like 8 and around in there, and or even younger, it don't matter what fucking age. But if they're sitting there counting your pockets, if your children are counting your fucking pockets, you need to rethink some things. That type of behavior, mentality is going to be carried into their future relationships, their future businesses, how they conduct their own finances. And I just think, you know, as parents, if that's the case, then you definitely need to tighten the fuck up. So without further ado, until next time,